all loaded up. Colder than shit. That ain't going nowhere. All right, let's get on the road. Probably make sure this thing's gonna fire up. It's a tad chilly in here. So we got the truck all loaded up. Aaron at Tater Belt was able to knock that hood stack out for us pretty quick. Shout out to those guys. Every time I need something, they get me taken care of. So now we're gonna head back to our shop. We got some more parts being delivered for Onion and the black truck. So we'll pick up when we get back to the shop. So we started this video segment at the end of 2025. It is now 2026. Hope everybody had a happy new year. I know we kind of just did our own little thing here in the shop. Didn't want to get too crazy, hang out with the kids. But it is now time. The crunch to 72 is back on. So you can see we got the hood stack all wrapped up. Now we are going to start tackling our wiring issue, and we have a set of scales on the way. We are going to get this thing scaled out, see how much weight we do have to add in order to meet that 6,000 pound minimum. Once we get that all dialed in, I'm going to change out the wastegate springs, and Firepunk's also doing a 72 fast dyno. It's $1,000 highest horsepower leading up to Ultimate Callout Challenge. So we are for sure going to put this thing on the dyno down there and see what kind of numbers we can get out of it. Obviously with that, it's going to help us with our setup because we want to have the most power we can get through this little 72 to keep this chassis working. So with further ado, let's get to work. Didn't record a lot of footage. We got all the nitrous solenoids and lines off. So luckily when I built this, it was all pretty easy. They're all just mounted on this rail, lines right to the intake. Let's put that back up there till we need it again. And then we got the battery tray out. Fender off. Our next thing, we got to get all this wire, probably going to feed it through that hole down here, feed it through, and then run it on the outside right here. The tip-um's going to get mounted right here, so then everything can just plug in. It'll be nice and tucked behind the fender. But before we start doing that, we need to come over here, tear the tip-um apart. We're gonna have to shave this off. That way this bracket sits flush with that, and then we will bolt it to the tip-um itself, and it should be nice and mounted that way. So current update, obviously we have our hood stack made for the 72. I do still have to order some plugs for the intercooler pipe. We have our tip-um in its new home, starting to tidy up all the wiring. All this is going to be tucked behind the fender. I do have to get a battery mount coming. We are going to put the battery outside frame rail, outside the passenger door. I think that'll be a nice even spot. So that's where we're sitting at right now. So as you can tell, the video is kind of scattered-brained. That's simply because of the fact that we are back to full-time in the shop on our day-to-day customers. This unfortunately has to get thrown on the back burner and be worked on more of like after hours and like a weekend. But the last clips you saw, we brought the truck back from Tate's. There should be some clips of where I started tearing it down to do the wiring, but I'm waiting on a battery mount. I got to order some more wiring, and then we got to finish tucking some wires, getting rid of more unnecessary stuff. But we did have a key component show up today, and that's our Proform 14,000 pound wireless scale system. Basically with that, we're going to be able to corner each tire and see how much weight's on each wheel, all four corners, and it also gives us a percentage. So that's really key when you're setting up your truck for the track, because obviously you don't want to be driving the shit out of your truck going down the track because you got an extra 1,000 pounds on this side or this corner. So with that, we're going to be able to evenly do our weight distribution for the truck to make it drive as straight as possible down the track. And also that is going to help us with getting that 6,000 pound minimum that we do have to have for the 72 fast class. So let's get to seeing how much this pig weighs. Scales are under the truck. As you can see, they're all on. Everything's at 0. So now let's take the truck down. See how much weight we gotta add. How much do you think? 2,500. Here, hold this one. Let me see it. It's gonna be heavy. Not that heavy. Hold on. Don't say any numbers yet. Okay, so everything's settled on the scale. Ooh. Alright, I had to peek. But 54. That is not ideal. We got to be at least 6,000 pounds. Oh, buddy. Well, like I said, we're still missing the battery. Obviously, we got to put that fender back on. There's a few other things we got to remove on the truck, but this gives us a good starting base of, okay, let's put weight here. So like you can see, the front's pretty even right now with 32%, 32%, and the rear 17, 17. So it looks like the left rear I can add a couple pounds there, also the right front. So there we have it. All right, that's gonna wrap up this section of the video. Obviously, when we weighed the truck, that was without the battery, without the fender, without me in it. I actually did weigh it with me in it. I set everything else on the truck and we were right at 5,700 pounds. So it's looking like we're gonna have to add about 300 pounds to make the 6,000 pound minimum weight. Obviously, I don't want to be right at 6,000 pounds because Indianapolis scales could be off. They could read high, they could read low, and I don't want to get there and that be an issue. So I'm going to go a little bit over 6,000 pounds. That way, if we do have to take off some weight, we can. I'd rather take weight off than have to add more weight. Once we get some more parts for this, I'll continue with our wiring. Like I said, I'm waiting on a battery bracket, just a few miscellaneous items that's going to be kind of time consuming. Don't know how much of it I'll record, but obviously as soon as I get it done, I'll give you guys a full update. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If there's anything else you guys want to see in these videos, if you thought this was kind of a better video compared to the other ones, I'd like to know that feedback also. I'm trying to get a lot better with like the editing and like the whole audio. Obviously in the shop, it's kind of hard. It either echoes or we got the damn cancer cannons that want to kick on or they're loud. So I'm working on all that slowly, but we will see you in the next video.